Hi, this is your mortgage guy, Dave Steinberg. I am here with one of my favorite people, my video coach, Ginger Bell. And today we're going to talk about what Ginger does and why you as a realtor should really consider using video as part of your social media strategy. So, Ginger, first of all, thank you so much. This is a lot of fun because I get to interview the coach. Um,
I
I,
love it. I feel like, it's like the pebble is being lifted from the hand. It's like, I'm so excited. I remember when you first started talking about, I want to do a podcast and I really want to be able to interview, professionals and have them share their expertise. And so I'm so happy you're doing this and honored to be invited. So thank you.
well, so let's get right into it. Um, Ginger, why should a professional in 2023 make video a cornerstone of their social media strategy?
That's a loaded question. You know that.
I never ask easy ones.
No. Um, so honestly, Dave, anyone, no matter who you are as a professional, should be using video as part of their branding plan. And I say branding plan because video really is at the core of branding you. We live in a digital age, and people are spending, the majority of their time is spent right here. And whether it's scrolling through social, whether it's going and searching, and we run into that a lot. In the mortgage industry, consumers are looking for information. They want to have answers, and they go to YouTube, they go to social media, they go to the internet, and they want to find the information. The best way to make that connection is through video, because they're hearing you, they're seeing you, they're forming opinions of you. And so by allowing them to make that connection through the camera lens, they are able to create that relationship with you before you even have an opportunity to meet them. And we see that a lot. I talk to so many of our clients where they'll get a phone call from someone who found them, whether it's YouTube, social media, on their webpage. They've watched their videos, and people will binge watch videos just like you binge a show on Netflix, and they will have all their questions answered. And we see this for loan originators, for real estate agents, for financial planners, where they've already built that relationship. It's like, I trust you because you've already given me my answers. I don't need to look anywhere else. So video is not only allowing them to educate, but they're building that trust without even having to have a conversation, which is crazy when you think about it, right?
Mm. So, time out for 1 minute. You have something on your chair. I don't know, was that a sweater or something behind you? And you
Yeah,
want to keep it there?
it's fine.
Okay.
It's a
Sorry
shawl.
about that.
Yep,
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay, let's keep on going. So, I love the way you say it. And I think the other part of that is the imputed mantle. The word author, when you write a book, you're an author.
Right.
And when you write a book, you become an authority.
Mm-hmm.
And to some extent, if you provide high quality video content, if you provide high quality video content, you're also an authority because people
Right.
get to watch you, they assess the quality of your information, and then they get to decide if they trust you and
Mm-hmm.
they want to do business with you. And so tell me more about how would you jump into this? If you were a first time, if you were a realtor or a financial planner and you wanted to start, what would your first step be?
So the first step, no matter who you are, I mean, you can own a restaurant. You can own a small hotel. I mean, you can own an art gallery. We just had signed up a client that owns an art gallery that wants to showcase and educate on buying art.
Mhm.
The first thing you need to do is, first of all, I begin with answering these three questions. What problems do you solve? What questions do you answer? And what products and services do you offer? And so having a really core idea as far as what that looks like will give you the base of getting started with your videos. And then the next thing you need to do, and this is very important, is you need to commit that you're going to do it, and you're going to do it for a solid year. And you're not going to stop, and you're not going to look up, that it is going to become a part of your DNA. Because people get started with video, and they may do one video or two, or maybe that. And I see this where it's like they do it for a few months, like, I'm not getting anything out of it. This is not about getting anything out of it. This is about really branding yourself and letting that become a part of your DNA, that you become. And that's why I call it Edumarketing. I mean, the main name of my company is Edumarketing. It's educational marketing. And so if you can commit to that, then honestly, you don't need a lot of fancy equipment. I know, you have invested and gotten cameras, and you, through the years you've been doing this, but people can get started honestly with your phone. I have the newest iPhone, the iPhone 14, and
Show
I
off.
got, pardon me,
Show
show
off.
off. Well, it's my business. But the reason I got it is because the camera for selfie facing, and I do a lot of videos, just on my own, not just with our fancy, cameras. And so you get the equipment, you can record from your phone, and then answer those questions and start creating the videos. I suggest, to really have a format for it. And what we recommend is to begin with a hook. I have a book that's on Amazon that we actually wrote for mortgage originators, because that's the core of my business. And we always begin in planning for the videos. You start with a hook. And so when you're thinking about the videos that you're doing, you start with a hook. Why should somebody care if they're watching the video, whether it's a short video, a long video? So let them know, start with a hook, introduce yourself. And then I love keeping things to 3 points. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 things you need to know about getting started with video. And so we find by using that formula, it makes it very easy for people to jump into creating videos.
Hmm.
And then
I have to tell you that for me,
mhm.
I was I was going, I had it down to a science. And then you said that about putting the hook up front, and I had to reprogram my brain, but I thought it was fabulous, right? Because I used to just start, hi, this is Dave Steinberg, blah, blah, blah. And now I say, if you're a first time home buyer and you want to know about paying points, I I want to share this with you. And then I go into the
Yeah,
introduction. And that's been huge because I
yeah.
feel like it's more effective.
People see, we live in a very fast world. We live in a digital world. And so you do have to capture their attention. But people, if you're giving valuable information, and we see this all the time. Kyle Seagraves, he has Win the House You Love. He started his YouTube channel over 3 years ago. Kyle's father bought a Motto Mortgage franchise, owned a Remax, bought a Motto Mortgage franchise, and brought Kyle into the business. Kyle was 23 years old, no experience in the industry. Remax and Motto are a client of mine. I trained them. Kyle came in. I said, start a YouTube channel. That's what you need to do. And he did. His videos are not short. Some of them are over 30 minutes long. And when he got started, and he said, what should I do videos about? And I said, give people information, read through the guides, talk about the new things, all the important things that people are looking for. And he does that. Today, he has over 141,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel. His number one video that is most viewed has over 1 million views. It's 33 minutes long and it's on FHA loan updates.
Mm.
And so people will watch, but you have to provide the information. And so I think that's the thing. A lot of people think, people have short attention spans. And to a certain degree, they do. But if you capture their attention and you're providing valuable information, it's like you give a lot of information on financial literacy and how to plan and how to save and things like that. That's important information people are looking for. So don't be afraid and don't think like every single video you do has to be a TikTok video, or even trending. It needs to provide information. And even if you only get, 3 great customers out of a video, that served its purpose, right?
Yeah. So if you're a realtor, you could do, let's say, if you're a realtor, you could do a video every week for a month.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say the first week of the month, you could talk about your town.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk about the housing trends in the town
Yep.
and what's going on in the real estate. The second week of the month, you might take that same approach, but this time talk about, let's say, one of the fun restaurants in town.
Yep.
And invite someone else into your video. You don't have to do it in the format that you and I are doing it. You just take that phone, go up to the restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and share your experience. And then maybe the third week of the month, you could talk about things that a first-time homebuyer might need to know.
Right.
And then the fourth week, you might talk about things that a seller would need to know.
Yep.
And you could do that every month. And now you have
Yeah.
a strategy that you could use for a year.
Yep. Yeah. And I love that. I mean, honestly, that's a great strategy. And so, let's unpackage that a little bit. Having that plan, and we have our Edumarketing toolbox that is focused on mortgages. We have 4 video topics a month. We do Mortgage 101, we do purchase, we do product, we do process. So I love the way that you've put together, the first week, second week, third week, fourth week. And by doing that, and especially as a real estate agent, so realtors have so many things that they can do videos about that are great visuals and that people are searching for. In the mortgage industry, there's nothing sexy about a mortgage,
I beg your pardon.
We got to put a lot of lipstick on that bag in order to make it all fancy. But people are looking for that information. So if you're a realtor, first of all, if you're a realtor, you absolutely 110% need to be doing video. No question. And doing that to where you divide that into your areas. Gary Vaynerchuk always talks about be the digital mayor of your town. The area you're in, people are looking at, why are you relocating there? You can showcase, in the city. In the city, you could, talk about places to eat, shows to see, places to work from. People since COVID have really been working virtually. My son, who lives in Ohio, has been at home during the holidays, and he has on his team people that are in Helsinki, in London, in LA, and all over the place. And so you could showcase some great virtual offices. I mean, there's just a lot of things. If you're a realtor, if you just do one of those videos a week and say, and begin with your hook, hey, if you're looking at relocating to New Jersey, hey, if you're looking at relocating to New York, hey, are you in the city living in New York? You want to move up, you want to move down, start with that hook, whatever that is, and then go in and showcase. The great thing about video editing is you can go to those areas. So maybe you want to showcase a particular community. Let's say, for example, dog parks. If you're living in the city and you have a dog, you need to think about where are you taking your dog? So why not make a video about the top dog parks in your area? And you can, you can shoot it on your camera, bring your camera and just go visit a different, dog park. put all of those together, and now you have an awesome video that goes onto YouTube. And guess what? People go and search for what a great dog parks in New York. Now you just get in the middle of their search.
And I love that, because if you're a dog person, let's say if you're a dog owner, you take your dog along with you and you
Yeah.
have your dog play in the dog park, and now dog owners will be captivated, and the fact that your dog is there will be
Yeah.
a hook, another hook pulling them
Yeah.
into your video.
Yeah.
So
And they'll do that. And so you could even, so say you're at a dog park and you could sit down and say you're at the dog park with your dog. And I can say, hey, do you mind if I, ask you a few questions about what you love about coming to this dog park, or what you love sitting, in the area. And so, you could interview somebody else. Do you live in the area? What do you love about living in the area? I mean, there's so many things that you can do around that. And that's what people are searching for. People find those interesting. We have a client who had moved from one city to another city. It didn't have any contacts there. And so we started a series for him on restaurants in his area. And so he would start out his hook on his video. Hey, if you're looking to relocate to this area, come along. We've got some great things we're going to show you. And he showcased restaurants, parks, schools, businesses. I mean, all those things, because that's what people are searching for when they move to a particular area. So think about what they're doing. Think about what they're looking for.
I love it, because if you're, well, let's say for my Manhattan people, if you're a Manhattan realtor, you might just pick the buildings that you love the most.
Yeah.
And do a drive-by of the building, maybe, especially if you've sold there, you might be able to get in the lobby, go up to someone's apartment, but just share the vibe of that building. And then think about it in terms of age groups, right? Because let's say you have your first-time home buyers, and their first-time home buyers have a certain set of concerns. Well, you might address those in one video. And the next time you might talk about, well, what's it like living in a New York City co-op? And then the following one, you'd say, well, what's it like trading down? If you're living in a large co-op and now you want to, or how do seniors age in place? And you can just, every week you could have a different topic, all about, you can interview your favorite clients, which, I'm doing the reverse. I'm interviewing my favorite coach, but you really could have a lot of fun just pulling people into your video. And now you have something that people might want to watch.
Yeah.
And the power of it also is, Ginger, I bet you're going to share this with some people.
Yeah.
And so by pulling people into your video, whether it be your favorite restaurant or your favorite dog park or the lake or whatever, now you're having someone share it. And now you're, not only is it on my stream, but now it's on your stream.
Right.
So think about that as something that's very powerful.
Yeah. Well, and having that share, I think, is so important. And you think about, if you're a realtor and you have, buyers that you're, taking to look at properties, share their story, put them on video. If you have sellers, we have a lot of first-time sellers that are coming into the market, Dave. And you think about, we talk about first-time home buyers all the time. What about those first-time sellers who have never been through the process? So if you're a real estate agent, why not you sign up a seller, you got a listing, put them on camera, say, what are your questions? And really create a series. Think about, I love the shows on like HGTV and, about the remodeling and all that. Create your own to where you do that. The other thing is, you are in such a beautiful city in New York. You could do, honestly, the seasons of New York. And you just came out of the holiday season. What happens? We've got Valentine's Day coming up. What happens? What is it like Valentine's Day in New York? I mean, St. Patrick's Day, hello, that's an incredible time, right? And then you get into springtime in New York, the park, I mean, different things to do. That's the thing. People are always like, "Oh, what should I make a video about?" Are you kidding? What can't you make a video about, right? And so I think that's probably the biggest thing is be open to that and then work with other people, just like you doing this. It's easier for us to have a conversation back and forth. And so if you're a little uncomfortable about getting started with video, do it with someone else because they can share it on their network. You can share it in your network and you're going to both grow. So for you, working with another real estate agent, maybe you have a realtor. It's like, Dave, I don't really know where to start with this. Say, hey, let's do it together.
Cool.
And you can help them through that. And then they kind of gain that confidence, which and you're such a great coach and you're such a great teacher. So I think any realtor would be so blessed to have you to do that with. I mean, honestly, if I was in New York, I'd say, okay, where are we going today? I mean,
And
let's go get coffee. Think about you could do a whole theme where it's like, yeah, and we can talk about this all day long because I love the whole one-offs and branding and doing that. But it's like you could do a theme around Valentine's Day, and you could do like the Lady and the Tramp kind of thing with the spaghetti, and you could go find that restaurant, and those are the fun things that people watch. And
and the more they see you, the more they get to make a decision if they want to work with you.
exactly.
I know that we're running out of time. Oh, no, sorry. I thought it was a little bit later. We still have plenty of time. Erin, cut the last 30 seconds. Um, I love this. Let's talk about the process. And as a client of Edumarketing, what I have grown to value tremendously is the fact that there are people behind the scenes. And so, this is probably my 40th or 50th video already. I've done a whole bunch. I'm getting increasingly confident. I have equipment and I have the infrastructure.
Right.
The best thing about working with Edumarketing for me is the fact that I know that when this video is complete, we just did an outtake 1 minute ago because I thought we were running out of time. But
Right.
the fact that whether you do your own video or whether you do long video or short video, one of the great things about video, whether is the fact that you can take the video and edit it. And some people will be comfortable doing it themselves. I'm not. I'm technological, but I also am overwhelmed. So
Yeah.
I do what I'm great at, and then I hand it off.
Right.
And there's a team behind the team that helps you get this done. And if you don't want to work with Edumarketing, there are other resources that I can help you with, or I can point you at tools that will be great. Um, what's a reasonable expectation? I think that one of the things that we should do, because I'm about 2 years into this now. We started up in January of 21, and we're recording this in January of 23. And I probably would have a hard time pointing to a specific client that came to me because of my videos. But I think it's great to have a set of expectations. So if I were to do a video a week, how many people would normally see that on Facebook? What's a good benchmark?
Well, I think it depends on what your following is, and that's what we've seen. So, it's hard to give a number, and people always expect, it's like, oh, I'm going to get thousands of views. And we never know if any of your videos are going to go viral, which ones are going to go viral, how it's going to grow your business. But what I can tell you, what we've seen over and over again, is that if you do minimum one video a week and you post it onto YouTube and you post it on your social and it becomes a part of everything you're doing, what does happen is you start getting comments or calls. from people, from real estate agents, from partners, from whatever. It says, I'm seeing you all over the place. Or what happens is when you get that phone call from someone, they may not be able to pinpoint it to one video, but they've seen you. And so what it does is it creates that bond. And the best, I mean, as far as let's create a strategy, the best strategy you can do is one long form video, two short form videos. And what I mean is long form video is a video that's over a minute long. Some people just get stuck on just doing short form videos. You need to do both. And the reason why is when you think of in terms of advertising, you need to have that combination. So, if you're putting together an ad campaign and say, hey, I'm going to do radio, I'm going to do TV, I'm going to do billboards, you're going to put a billboard up. That billboard is going to be up on the side of the road. I think the shortest contract you can get is like 6 months. It may be a year now. And so you have that billboard up, and people who drive by every day are going to see it every day, every day, every day, every day. And it's going to make an impression, right? They may not recall where they saw you, but they will see you. And then you're going to say, okay, now I'm going to do radio spots, and you're going to play so many 30-second radio spots. And they may be in the car at the time when your ad, hits once a day, once a month, once every 6 months. You don't know. It's that short 30-second spot, and you're going to hit it. And you're not sure if they're going to see it. That's your short videos. So those are your under 1 minute videos that are going onto your Instagram reels that disappear after a day, that Facebook stories that disappear, your TikTok that are quicker. So you want that. So you want the 30-second radio spots, but you also want the billboard, and your billboard is your longer content. Those are things you're going to put onto YouTube, you're going to put on your email, you're going to put onto your website, you're going to put onto your LinkedIn, onto your Facebook, the part of your regular page, that's going to be there longer. So you need to have that strategy of both. And when you do that, and again, you commit, I'm going to do this for a year, then those impressions start happening. So it can't just be I did a video, Ginger, and it didn't work. Well, of course it didn't work. It's like in advertising. Why I did a TV ad and it didn't work? Well, so to answer your question, if you post a video onto Facebook, how much are you going to get? Nothing for one. But over time, you'll get those impressions. And just like that billboard, when people drove by, they may not associate where they saw you, but they know they saw you.
And so, I'll give you the other side. And I did a video a couple of weeks ago with my friend MJ, who's a realtor out of Connecticut, and we got about 19,000 views within a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
it's like amazing, 19,000 views. Now, will any of those buy a house from her or take a mortgage from me in the next month or 3 months? God only knows. But it's great. You were talking about short form and long form videos. And one of the things I've learned from you is that when you do a short form video, when you do a reel or one of those TikToks or any of those, you want to use a horizontal format. So talk about that, and talk about when you use horizontal and when you use
vertical. Yeah. So there's two different ways to record. Typically, if you're recording on your Insta Reels or your TikTok or your Facebook stories, you're going to record with your phone to where it's vertical. And so it frames up that way, the size is that way, and it's designed for that. It's funny because I started doing podcasts talking about video, probably about 4 years ago. And I had one person that I would constantly do podcasts with. And he's always like, the only way to do it is this way. It's like, no, it is not the only way to do it. Because if you record a video like this and you try to put it onto YouTube, it's going to look horrible. So this is fine for your shorter content under a minute that are going onto your Insta Reels, your Facebook, onto the stories, onto the TikTok. But when you're shooting for YouTube or for your website or something that's over a minute, then you want to shoot to where it is horizontal. If you're in doubt, shoot horizontal because it is easier for us to edit down to the vertical format from horizontal. To take a vertical and try to make it into horizontal, can't do it. So, and you can record if you want to record from your desktop, like what we're doing right now, you can do that. We can, frame that down to a vertical for a short. If you want to use a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, you can do that. That's going to be in a wider frame format, but we can clip down. So I always say if you're ever in doubt as to how your content's going to be used, always record horizontal.
So we were talking about timeframes, and you keep on saying under a minute, but under a minute is really the restrictions have softened.
Yeah.
TikTok used to be firmly under a minute, and now you can go to 2 minutes.
Actually, you can go to 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Wow.
Which tells you. So yeah, so TikTok started, it was under a minute. And then it went to 3 minutes. And then last year, I think around June or July, it went to 10 minutes. And so a lot of what TikTok is seeing, and you can see in their advertisement, TikTok has a whole campaign they're doing that's called TikTok Taught Me, because they're having a lot of the same phenomenon on people learning things that YouTube has. And so YouTube is recognizing what advantages TikTok is having. And so YouTube started its YouTube handles, which they never had before. You had to get 100 subscribers before you could brand your YouTube channel. So they just a couple months ago changed it to where you can have a handle, which is basically your username. So it's funny to see whenever there's competition, it goes back and forth. But I say short form because that's the shorter form videos that you use, just like that 30-second radio spot we talked about, that you're going to easily get them out there. They're going to be quicker because it's going to take more time to do a longer format video. If you're doing anything that's over, if you're doing longer format, you're over 2 minutes. Most of them are anywhere from probably 4 to 6 minutes because you're getting into more education. So if you're a real estate agent and you are doing a video for a seller, and you're talking to a first-time home seller. So if you're doing a video for that, I would start off with a hook as far as, hey, are you thinking about selling your home and have never done it before and have questions? Well, stay tuned because in this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 things you need to know about listing your home. Hey, this is Ginger Bell with Edumarketing. And I know you have questions about selling your home because I get calls all the time. And so let's begin by explaining what are the first things you need to do. And then you're going to get into those number 1, 2, and 3. Now, because you're really getting to explaining, you're not going to get that video done and explain and teach in a minute. And I mean, I'm an educator. I'm a trainer by trade. Before I got into the mortgage industry some 20 years ago, I was a corporate trainer at Dale Carnegie Training. So training is in my DNA. And so I've always done longer format videos because I explain a process or I explain steps or I explain things. That's why you want to have that information. So you're not going to be able to do that in a shorter video. It's going to be a longer video, and that's okay. So you need to, and again, it goes back to you need to have that combination. Or, if you don't want to do the longer format on your own, do like what you're doing and start a podcast. Podcasts are great. You can put a podcast onto YouTube. You can split out to where you get, I call them drop the mic moments, where you have things that are said during the podcast and you can clip out those. So, if you're a real estate agent and you're not really sure where to start and you don't want to do it on your own, consider starting a podcast and think about inviting people on just like what you're doing. Invite an interior decorator on, invite a stager on, invite a home appraiser on, invite an inspector on, and think about all the people that are involved in the process. You're in an attorney state, have an attorney on, talk about drafting up a contract. There's so many things that you can do, but you need to have the combination because you can't explain everything in a short video.
We've had such a great time talking, Ginger. I've really enjoyed this. If any of my realtor friends have any questions, feel free to call me. I'd be happy to walk you through the whole process. You can find Ginger at edumarketing.com. That's EDUMARKETING.com. And they have an array of services. They're mostly oriented for people in my industry, the mortgage industry, but she does serve people in a variety of industries, and she's great. Thank you so much for joining me, and this has been a lot of fun, Ginger.
Oh, thank you, Dave. I had a blast.